Hey. Good form, Batman. Keep it up. Batman. Why is everyone calling me Batman? Good job, Batman. Show them how it's done, Batman. Work it, Batman. Probably because I'm strong like Batman. 365 trips around the sun. White people have no culture all of Europe right now. White people don't have culture. European is not a race, it's an ethnicity. Jesus, open a textbook. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sounds like we are one nation under Biden, divided with police state and kangaroo courts for all. I'm not religious, but it's pretty evident that like 85% of the population was religious when these documents were founded. The word God appears on it. The Pledge of Allegiance was written in 1892. Country was founded in 1776. Which of the following items might help an hour's professional drive employee retention and success? A ping pong table. Additional responsibilities. A raise in pay. Incorrect. Often when an employee leaves, it's not about the money. A good exit interview can help determine the real causes of employee discontent. They generally add color and or smell to dangerous gases, so people know it's dangerous. Gas in the house has smell, so you know not to light a flame. I don't think that's why it smells that way, laughing out loud. OMG, I'm absolutely stunned at CRAYOLA, this is disgusting and unacceptable. Cancelled. Black Negro Noir. We are grateful for the opportunity to respond. Crayola offers multiple languages on some products to help children learn. Negro, pronounced negro, is the appropriate word a Spanish-speaking child would use for the color black. We hope this helps. T.I. says he'll give comedian $1 million if she proves he called her a bitch. Comedian posts video of T.I. calling her a bitch. Forced to get the jab. Detox by dissolving 1/4C baking soda in water, drink and wash down with 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. It will neutralize your body pH and flush out the vaccine #NOMANDATES. A shark in a fish tank will grow 8 inches, but in the ocean it will grow to 8 feet or more. The shark will never outgrow its environment, and the same is true about you. Many times we're around small thinking people, so we don't grow. Change your environment and watch your growth. Sure, but it started because men realized their foreskin are nasty and wanted to get rid of them. Religious justifications came much later, and even then they keep doing it because they know it's nasty. Religious people have no problem getting rid of terrible rules they don't like anymore, but they keep chopping off the foreskin because that's one they like. Fun fact, we are animals. Fun fact, we actually aren't animals, we are mammals. Most animals are mammals too. We may be similar but no. Please, stop being a brickhead and think before you comment. How much electricity does it take to charge an electric car? An average electric car takes 66 kWh to charge. It takes 85 pounds of coal or 6 barrels of oil to make 66 kWh. How the heck is this an improvement on anything? You do not calculate your own insulin dose. Unless you are a pharmacist, you are dead. Been doing it since I was 14. The thing I don't like about Holocaust movies is they buy into the fatphobic myth that everyone can get skinny if they just stop eating. If there were ever a real Holocaust, there'd be more fat femme physique represented. The goal is us. People are fucking idiots. My neighbor's kid just tried to tell me that bats are mammals. Mammals don't fly, we walk and are confined to the ground. No wonder my family in Sweden thinks Americans are dumb. You'll truly need to educate your kids better. Bats are birds. That is not how, nor has it even been how parentheses work. By your logic, 2 plus 3 would equal 25. Hint, the answer is 13. If I'm bored during sex, it's because my partner isn't doing something that excites me. That's their fault. If I communicate that and they don't change, it's still their fault. Not to be misogynistic, but the goal of sex is for the man to be pleasured, to impregnate. This is why females are biologically wired to enjoy sex less. So you may be bored because of that reason. Women have longer, better orgasms than men. Good try though. I've never seen a woman have a good orgasm, yet alone one at all, and I've had sex with many different women. They are simply built different. If you're not trolling, I feel so sorry for any person who's had sex with you. It is so fucking hilarious how you think this is proving your point. May God have mercy on your incompetent dick, fingers, and tongue. It's actually fucked up when you realize that those clots girls get in their period blood are bits of the baby's fingers and shit. What the fuck? Seriously? Gross, hahaha. Yeah man, it blows your mind when you actually realize that, and girls wonder why periods gross guys out. That's why laughing out loud. Clots are bits of uterus lining actually. Jesus. How? The metric system is for scientists because it is rather complex. You'll need to jiggle your brains a little if you believe this nonsense. How? Time is affected by gravity as well, and black holes are intense sources of gravity. It makes sense. I'm simply going to disagree. I don't think the theory of gravity adds up, and I don't think it does what they say it does. Yes, stuff falls down, but nowhere else can we replicate something being drawn to something else simply because of a large size. Same force can't simultaneously repel and attract. And if gravity attracts, why hasn't the moon crashed into us yet? When a wet tennis ball spins, the water is slung away from it, not drawn closer. I know I'm just supposed to trust the theorists because they are so much smarter than me, but I think they are just making stuff up. Maybe the math lines up, but if the original assumption is based on a lie, then it's all still wrong. Like if I said show me the physics behind how it would work for me to sprout wings and fly, a talented mathematician could show the physics that would make it so, but the reality is I still don't have wings, and I still can't fly. Yeah, people in this sub annoy me, but at least you're right. You're. No, I said you are, which is yeah. Dumbus laughing out loud. It is 100% you could have just edited your comment and taken the loss. You're 100% the dumbest fuck on the internet. You can afford to pay everyone on the planet $1 billion. Elon Musk net worth $215.1 billion US. Definitely not chemistry. Who's the stupid one now? Mentos and Coke is a chemical reaction. It's you. You're the stupid one now. They don't have Reddit. VPNs. Most of them don't have internet. So, just use a VPN. Considering the fact Apple invented Bluetooth, first to have dual camera, first to stream movies to television, I can see we are $1 trillion. Wrong. Dr. Jaap Haaston invented Bluetooth in the 90s. First phone to have dual camera was LG. Good try, buddy. Stream movies to television has been out way before Apple. Me literally being Spanish. You're not Spanish, you're Mexican, you speak Spanish, you know, just clarifying. I'm Spanish. You do realize that the Confederate States at the time were against slavery, right? The Union, also known as Democratic Party, was actually pro-slavery. So yay, sometimes it's good to keep shit around so we can actually learn history and know the past so we don't repeat the same mistakes. Pants were invented for men, not women. It's impossible for a woman to wear pants, jeans, yoga pants, dress pants, leggings, dungarees, etc. without sexualizing her body, since they highlight her legs, curves, and rear end. Women who want to be modest should not own pants at all. From conception to adulthood. The seed literally is the brain and spinal cord. Did the TVs back then need an upgrade to show color, or were the TVs able to produce color, even though they'd only been showing black and white? Hurts my brain to have to say this, but all TV, no matter how old, all have red, blue, and green pixels. You are incorrect. Being Japanese and English doesn't make you biracial, unless you have one black parent and one white. A little science lesson for the #IDIOTS at the Global Warming Conference. Iceberg. Ocean. Iceberg melts. Ocean. Ocean level remains the same. The sun revolves around the earth. That's what it's written in the title, plain and simple. People learn at school that the earth revolves around the sun and also learn that there's no absolute spatial reference. For some reason they still believe that the heliocentric model is the truth of how nature works and disregard any geocentric model. That makes absolute no sense. The scientists only chose to describe the celestial body's movement using the sun's center of mass, but there's no physical necessity for this choice. We can also describe our stellar system using the the observer, as reference, and the model is also correct. Hi, I'm a male in my mid-30s looking for a place that's tidy and clean, that has a lawn or yard, and has flatmates who enjoy socializing some weekends, odd drinks etc. Needs reliable internet connection as I'm a computer science and business management major who works from the abode and does projects like music and websites on the weekends, when not with friends. Thanks. You mean Adobe? How can you be a computer scientist if you can't spell Adobe correctly, haha. Yay. Abode means place. If you believe the moon control the tides of the fucking ocean, what makes you think planetary alignment cannot control human behavior? Because the moon has a direct and significant gravitational effect on the planet, which can be measured and predicted, whereas stars hundreds of light years away just do not have that sort of effect. Kate Bush wrote Running Up That Hill, produced Running Up That Hill, and owns 100% of its songwriting, publishing, and licensing rights. Basically, Kate Bush is currently making around £250,000 a week from one song she released in 1985. 1. She's not earning that much from it, you're confusing turnover with profit. And 2. As she did the work 37 years ago, you would have to adjust the amount accordingly. It would be worth less than half the current amount of income. And 3. Fair ball to her. The character of Tony Stark was inspired by Ellen. I just need someone to explain to me why airplanes don't board back to front. No, when you stand up you press down harder, so you weigh more standing up. You don't weigh more standing up, but your weight is spread over a smaller surface area which applies more pressure. It's true, people weigh more standing up. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. 5. An orchestra of 120 players takes 40 minutes to play Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. How long would it take for 60 players to play the symphony? Let P be number of players and T the time playing. Unpopular opinion, white people love dogs so much because deep down they miss owning slaves. They love the owner and master dynamic, desperate for something to control. Dead sapasta still in morgue, 400 days after vow to resurrect. Hey, what's Winnie the Pooh's favorite color? Yellow. No, it's red, because of his shirt. No, it's yellow because he loves honey. You have no idea what you're talking about. Then Pooh says, yellow like honey. That's my favorite color. Things heating up at the Winnie the Pooh fandom. A body in motion stays in motion is literally a quote from an arthritis medication ad from like 2005. This is Sir Isaac Newton's first law of motion. Why don't they make bulletproof vests out of diamond if it is the hardest metal? Cause it's too heavy. 1 gram of diamond weighs something like 15 grams. Yeah bro, I did the nasty with a lesbian laughing out loud. Did you use a condom? No. She's lesbian. She can't get pregnant bro. Not even being provocative, but if you think Greta Thunberg has the maturity to guide global policy making, then you cannot object to Jeffrey Epstein paying 16-year-olds for 6 children. The planet is dying, please do something. Conservatives, well if you're so smart why can't I have sex with you? Checkmate. Globe Earth was not pushed until the 1920s. Likely the push for Globe Earth happened in the 20s. This was the time in which the Rockefellers founded the American Education Board. Rockefellers also headed most of the foundations of modern archaeology that we know today. We talk about how Copernicus headed the modern push for heliocentrism, but to be honest, I'm highly skeptical that he even existed at all. I think at this point it is more than obvious that the majority of our known history is almost entirely fabricated. It's not that I think people are being fooled by just space, I think people are being fooled by everything you have ever been taught. Fossil fuel is a finite resource. What happens when we run out? Plan ahead. Solar, wind, hydro, geothermal, and the rest of the green power sources are just that, sources of power. Wrong. They call it fossil fuel only because fossilized shells come up when drilling the well. Crude oil is produced in the mantle and comes to the surface due to heat and pressure. When a well is pumped dry, it's capped and mapped. A couple of decades later you can return to the well, uncap it, and start pumping crude oil out again. Fracking simply causes cracks to form around the well foot, allowing crude oil to flow faster from below the well foot, refilling the strata where the oil collects. Mozambique elephants born without tusks in evolutionary response. Elephants are evolving to be tuskless after decades of rampant poaching in Africa, researchers have discovered. That's not evolution. If you kill all the elephants with tusks, the only ones remaining to procreate are the tuskless ones. Hence all the tuskless elephants now. So this is a man-made problem. Georgia isn't a county. It's a state. Liberal brain made this. You do realize Georgia is a state and a country, right? Two different places. Laughing out loud. From home country United States of America. I know my states, it's in the name. Black seed oil cures everything. Stop letting people scare you. 5 things that should be in every household: black seed oil, black charcoal tablets, honey, pine tree needle, gully root. Thank me later. Stop minding these health ministers and doctors who getting paid to make you sick. If there weren't sicknesses, these people would be out of a job. Wake up, this is 2022. I wrote an article about poverty on a Native American reservation and someone sent me an article titled 10 Indian Billionaires and said then explain this, and they were all people from India. Please give me an example of something someone said to you that was so astonishingly stupid that you can never forget it. 1984. George Orwell includes a foreword by Thomas Pynchon. 1984 by George Orwell. Pro-communist content. If abortion is killing people, so is jerking off. Think of the people you're killing. Sperm is not a baby, the woman's egg is. Stay in school. If a girl is on birth control and she likes you, consider it an insult. Birth control literally alters a woman's sexual preference to find beta males more attractive. This is not an opinion or a joke. It's real fact. Absolutely explains why no woman on birth control, they pretty much all are these days, has ever found me attractive. Genius. I think it's pretty gross people breastfeed. It's not milk, it's body fluids. Might as well feed your little one your pee. We have bottles and formula that's meant to feed your baby. Stop giving your body fluid a classy name by calling it milk. It's not milk. Milk comes from cows. It's almost like saying almonds make milk. Idiots everywhere. United States town rejects solar panels amid fears they suck energy from the sun, cause cancer, and will harm house prices. A retired science teacher said she was concerned the panels would prevent plants in the area from growing. I'm an American. I do not have to understand anything. If only Netflix had done the same for adult movies, their office would be filled with thank you letters, 80% of which are written by deaf people. And how will they write letters if they are deaf? Deaf people aren't blind. They can still write. You are wrong. Shadows prove the table is curved, and the lamp is 93 million miles away. Don't argue with the science. People don't understand that you don't have to be from a Latin American country to be Latino. For example, I'm Irish American, but I identify as Latina because I love really hard. If you got me, I got you. It's an attitude more than anything. Did you know 90% of all today's products in food sales did not exist 100 years ago, as did 90% of health problems? Griff. The idea that cavalry will be replaced by these iron coaches is absurd. WWI report of British Field Marshal Haig, 1916. They found a humanoid tooth in Georgia, country not the state, that's 1.8 million years old. Georgia is a state not a country, United States is a country. Laker. NASA. Laker plush astronaut dog. $24.99. Jennifer Lawrence reveals name, sex of her 6-month-old child. Vertical bar on air with Ryan Seacrest. First you have to understand the concept that men do not have babies. Men who pretend to be women and want babies must use a surrogate. He used a surrogate. So 96% total, that's almost everybody, but get your clicks. The CDC says only 31% of men and 65% of women wash their hands after using the restroom. Know how to find an atheist? They'll tell you. Yeah, those atheists wearing their atheist necklaces and atheist earrings, and building gigantic atheist monuments, and congregating to yell out loud how much they love atheism, and going around the world to different countries to tell people they should be atheist, and making sculptures of the first atheist, and painting pictures of the first atheist, and screaming to random strangers how they love atheism. Yeah. It's atheists who do that. Somebody doesn't know how a compass works, look it up. If you are south to the equator it points south, if you are north of the equator it points north. You know compasses are different depending where you live. People act like this is so hard. I'm 15 and yeah I do have a really high IQ, 150s, and I can easily do integrated calculus in my head, and easily calculate the amount of valence electrons in a nucleus. And I'm also highly trained in quantum physics. By the way, I'm totally self-educated. There are no electrons in any atomic nucleus. Boom. Pretty sure humans are not animals. What else would we be? I don't know. Maybe humans. Apparently a mineral or a vegetable diet. Women do ovulate, dogs do not. Eater, also estrum, oestrus, the period of heat or rut, the period of maximum sexual receptivity of the female. Nobody thinks dogs and humans have the same kind of periods. But it is a period of heat and a period of sexual receptivity. In short, a period. Only 21 inch, not 24 inch. I have not used it so far, but I'm giving rating, just because it's not 24 inch. It is 21 inch monitor to which company is claiming of 24 inch. I'm bored. I'm chalk, we should get together. Bored. Like I don't have anything to do, not bored, like a chalkboard. Learn to spell check. Oh my god, I hope you don't breed. Radioactive? Why would it be radioactive? I don't buy into that. I know physics too well. Well, just because you profile picture of Einstein, that makes you a fucking genius. That's Mark Twain. China has the best record on the issue of peace and security. We have never invaded other countries, never engaged in proxy wars, never sought spheres of influence, or participated in military bloc confrontation. The owner of this electric vehicle, Chevy Bolt, did what no electric vehicle manufacturer has done so far. Something completely logical. I have always wondered why these vehicles have not been designed to use the energy that wheel rotation produces to charge the batteries of the vehicle. This man made it at home. What you see in the frame is a generator that produces current that charges batteries. You no longer need to stop to charge batteries at charging stations or charge them at night at home. While the vehicle runs, it charges the batteries. Simple. Elemental, my dear Watson. This guy thinks pickles are pickled cucumbers. Doesn't it says 60 calories on the calorie weigher? That's a scale. It measures food in grams. You can't tell how many calories are in a food by its weight. I'm honestly surprised you were able to create a Reddit account, but don't understand basic logic. I literally have one at home, and it tells me the calories of foods. Calories are based on weight, because if you have more food obviously it will have more calories. Cringe. Oh god, laughing out loud. Calorie weigher is taking me out. Only women have hormones, men have testosterone, you should know this by now. Her ring finger is longer than her pointer finger, which means she's a genetic male. Women have longer pointer fingers than ring fingers due to hormones in utero. At what age is it safe to use urine on a child's skin? The second they are born. It's what they came out of. Cut 10 lawns a day 4 days a week at $30 $1,200 per week equals 1.2 million per year. Somebody born in 2020 will see the year 3000 when they are 80. That's wild. Islam is a lie. I'm an ex-Muslim. Jesus is the only way. Damn. What sect were you part of? Nahari or Puleo? I think my family is Puleo. Bro, those are food dishes. If you can't see it, you're lost. You're lost. Please attempt better grammar. False advertisement. Purchased the Samsung 8 Series 2 8000 50-inch. After unpacking I found that the 50-inch I purchased was actual 44-inch. How is that? The box is only 49-inch, there no way with the foam protection the TV could be 50-inch. See pictures and video. This is a scam. I need my money or a 50-inch Samsung TV. Mentioned a cervix to my 26-year-old BF, and he looked confused. Asked him did he not know what that was, and he looked at me in the eye so confidently and said yeah, Jesus was nailed to one. Actually, animals kill and eat each other because we kill and eat them. If we stop, they'll stop. Wait, what? It is a vicious cycle of madness that started when man killed and ate the first animal 3000 years ago. Because he did that, this behavior spread throughout the animal kingdom and encompassed the world in the evil darkness of death. Well, firstly, it's not melanin, it's called melatonin, but you are American, so that is understandable, and no, she's mixed, not black. Drinking water does not keep a person hydrated. It does the opposite. Through osmosis, water leaches minerals from your body and flushes them. This also burdens the kidneys. Eating fruit, eggs, dairy and other hydrated food is better because it is isotonic our bodily fluids. Microscopic look at a bee stinger versus the point of a needle. The precision of nature beats the clumsy attempts of humans every time. Quicker doesn't refer to speed. The word you're looking for is faster. Quicker synonyms: faster, more quickly, sprier, lively, active, and brisk, vigorous, nimbler, quick, clever, and acute in endeavorsy, readier, prompt in apprehending or act, speedier, characterized by rapid motion, s. Not sure what you're trying to prove here. You're showing me symptoms, not definitions. With threads like these, I can't lose. Okay, but why is there a white guy playing an Egyptian? Please tell me you're joking. That is Rami Malek, he is Egyptian. Also funny how world hunger wasn't a thing before capitalism became global, but at least capitalist countries have lessened a problem that they've created. That's about as great as me setting a house on fire then rescuing some of the people in the house and claiming I decreased the amount of people dying from house fires. Doesn't matter what you think, but morality and a scale of right or wrong comes from Christianity. 5 plus 5 × 5 equals 30. Order of operations exists, people. Wrong. Correct answer is 50. At the Berlin Wall last week. Walls work. The most common bird ever. Domestic chicken. Bro, it's Juneteenth. Why did you post? Because people are still allowed to make videos on holidays? Juneteenth is meant to be a day where black people only have the ability to post for the day. People are fucking idiots. My neighbor's kid just tried to tell me that bats are mammals. Mammals don't fly, we walk and are confined to the ground. No wonder my family in Sweden thinks Americans are dumb. You'll truly need to educate your kids better. Bats are birds. I will get called names and maybe even ratioed, but ADHD does not exist. It does not exist as its own disorder, that is. ADHD is purely a result of diet and hormones caused by your diet. Fix your diet and fix your mind. Climate change began long before capitalism. Capitalism predates humans. Even animals understand property. When a bird builds a nest, defends it from commies, and offers to share it with a potential mate voluntarily, that is capitalism.